Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the FCS Football channel. And today we are back with another match preview, this time for Manchester United versus Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League. Now, before we do get into this game, of course, there will be a watch along for this game. That will be the stream will start at 5 with kickoff being 5:30. Of course, making it the late kickoff on Saturday. So please do tune in for that. Link to that will be in the description down below and, of course, on the end card. But what do we expect coming into this game? Now, Manchester United do sit in 6th in the Premier League table, having picked up 7 points from our last 15. So it's getting better in terms of form, while Brighton, on the other hand, sit 9th in the Premier League, having picked up 10 points. So form-wise, Brighton slightly edge it. However, I do think Manchester United do come into this game in better kind of short-term form. Now, looking at our last game, we of course did beat Brentford 3-0. A very good Brentford team, but a team that we blew away. We were fantastic, and that is, for me, undoubtedly our best performance of the season. We were fantastic, and I want to see more of it because I thought we were really, really good. Obviously, the goals coming through Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, and of course Rafael Varane getting his first goal for Manchester United. And like I said, I was just really, really happy with the performance, and I'm just expecting, and well, more so hoping that we see another performance of that ilk, because it was very, very good. It was high action. It was a dominant performance against a Brentford team that had dominated against Spurs, had smashed Chelsea, and they couldn't stop. They couldn't handle us. We were that good, and I think we do deserve a lot of praise for that performance. But it means nothing if we can't then kick on and move on to the next game, which is of course today. Well, not today, tomorrow, and this Brighton game. It's a must win. Brighton, on the other hand, they also won. They beat Wolves 3-0 in what was a good performance against the Wolves side, who, look, they're competing for the European spots, specifically the Europa Conference League spot, but they have massively fallen off the pace in recent weeks, and I don't think they're the same Wolves team that they were at the early stages of this season, but they are still undoubtedly a good side. And I think Brighton do deserve credit for that. I think we all know Brighton are a good side. They're a team that, for me, I've always played good stuff, and I've always just kind of missed that reliable goal scorer you look at and think he will score bags of goals. And if they can kind of find that man, I think Brighton will be fine. And I think they can get even higher than 9th and maybe even compete with the likes of Wolves and West Ham for that kind of Europa League conference position. When it comes to, obviously, our last game against Brighton, we did beat them 2-0 with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring that unbelievable shot from the edge of the box, and Bruno Fernandes getting, of course, that last-minute consolation to obviously seal the 3 points as if they weren't already sealed. And again, look, Brighton were probably the better team in that game, but Manchester United did what we so often did last season and kind of at the start of this season: play badly but get the result in the end. And that's all that really matters in football. At the end of the day, you can play however you want. You need to get the 3 points, and that's what Manchester United did in that game. Moving on to team news, Brighton are, of course, without a couple of players, Jakob Moda and Mbwepu. We'll go with one of those. They are both out. Moda with a knee injury, and Mbwepu. We'll go with that, with a groin injury. How will Brighton look to play? Well, they play a 3-4-2-1 or a variation on that. It might be a 3-5-2. They play high pressing. They attack well. They're very good on and off possession. They're just a very, very good team, this Brighton side. And with their midfield general in Yves Bissouma playing so well at the moment, he undoubtedly, for me, their key player, alongside the likes of maybe Leonardo Trossard and maybe even Mark Cucurella on that left-hand side. I think they're all fantastic players, and kind of the reason why Brighton are doing so well, alongside all their good football, that can obviously, you can only play kind of amazing football like Brighton play if you have quality players, and that's certainly what Brighton have in those 3 players. But I picked up Basuma as their key player. I think he's a general in midfield, very press resistant, very good on the ball, and can do the defensive side of the game just as well. I think he would be, if for the right price, he would be a great player for even like a Manchester United to go in, take him, and just use as kind of a player in a double pivot. Obviously, similar to what Thomas Partey is at Arsenal. I think Basuma could be just as well. Maybe in for Chelsea in their double pivot in that 5-back. Obviously, very similar to how Brighton look to play. Could be a match made in heaven. Moving on to Manchester United team news. It's looking better. Cavani obviously is back. Wan-Bissaka's back. Maguire's back in training. Whether those two will match fit is another question. However, they are back in training. So, in a sense, they are eligible for selection. The only players that we know are out are Paul Pogba, Jadon Sancho and Luke Shaw, who all three of them looks like they've played their final game of the season for Manchester United. And then this is when we're going to go into team news. And for once, kind of, me and Ralph Rangnick can go for the same team. So, David De Gea in goal. There's absolutely no doubt David De Gea is our number one option. He's been fantastic all season. Has kept us in many more games than I think any other goalkeeper would have, just with his unbelievable shot stopping. Yes, there's no doubt that he needs to improve on other areas of his game, specifically his sweeping and kind of the traits of a modern goalkeeper. However, I do think here and there we are seeing signs of that potential improvement. I think De Gea, we do see him come off his line a little bit more. It's not enough to say he's kind of learning and can be that sweeper keeper, that modern keeper for next season under Erik ten Hag. But there's a sense that maybe he could kind of do, if you get what I mean. The back four, Dalot, Lindelof, Varane and Telles, playing quite well at the moment. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Alex Telles, but Luke Shaw's not available. I think Dalot played so well on that right-hand side against Brentford. I don't think you can drop him and move him from there. And I think that kind of leaves Alex Telles having to play, unless you play Fernandes, or you put Wan-Bissaka at left-back. He played well there against Liverpool, but I'm not feeling Wan-Bissaka starting at left-back, so Telles stays in. Matic and McTominay. Look, again, I'm not the biggest fan of McTominay, and I would consider putting Fred in. But again, I thought these two played well against Brentford. And with that front line of Bruno Fernandes, Juan Mata, Anthony Elanga and Cristiano Ronaldo, you'll notice it's the same team that started last game. I just don't see how you can change this lineup when we played so well. It was, like I said, for me, our best performance of the season. How you can change a winning formula that was so good, I don't see how you can do it. So I just think you must go with the same lineup. I will be shocked. I will really, really be shocked if we don't see this lineup. Maybe you see a Fred come in for a McTominay, maybe. But for me, it has to be that lineup. Now, just about the game, look. Like I said, Brentford, it was our best game of the season for me. And people will kind of, discard that fact by saying, it's Brentford, they got promoted by the playoffs. This, that and the other. But like I said earlier, beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. What was it, 4-1? Drew 0-0 with Spurs, and they should have beat Spurs. This Brentford team are very, very good, and they're not an easy team to beat. And to control the game like we did, and we could have had more goals. But the style in which we dismantled them and we tore them apart, it was very, very impressive. And if we saw this weeks ago, before Ten Hag was appointed, we would be, I think we'd be in Champions League spaces. It's worrying, but it's no surprise that as soon as the manager has been appointed for next season, these players have started kind of bucking their ideas up. Arsenal, you look at the games since Ten Hag has been appointed. Arsenal, we played very well in that game. We was unlucky not to beat them. Chelsea, we got a draw, which really many people didn't expect. And then obviously this Brentford performance, which was fantastic. And I think if we continue in this kind of ilk of just performing at the highest level, controlling the game like we did, and letting players like Juan Mata, like Matic, Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo get on the ball and dictate the play like they did against Brentford, I think we'll win this game. We'll win it comfortably, to be honest. And I think we were... Look, I'm going to go for a win. Of course I am, because I am confident, especially given the fact we just played how we played against Brentford. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Manchester United win. Now, if you have enjoyed this match preview, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. And please do tune in for the watch along. Again, details are on my side. And there's also a link to it in the description down below, as well as on the end card. Like I said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. In a bit. Peace.